Jason?
How can you help us make our schools like the Northside schools?
Well, you know, the law says that every school is supposed to be the same. There was a Supreme Court case called Brown versus the Board of Education, and there's been a number of others after that basically said that separate but equal. Brown versus the Board of Education was a segregation case. It said that you couldn't have white schools and black schools. You couldn't have white schools and Hispanic schools. Everybody had to have the same opportunity. And in prior to that, especially in the South, there was separation by race. It was an awful time in awful period in our country. But there's been subsequent cases. I think it's something versus Priest.
Serrano versus Priest.
Serrano versus Priest. Thank you. I couldn't. Which said that every school district has to spend the same amount on every young person. Now, I will tell you that one of the things you have to do to make yourself a better school is you have to stand up every day and think, I'm going to be part of making this a better school every day. It's all of you have to get together and decide you're going to take pride in what you're doing. You're going to maintain your school. Schools aren't about the walls and the buildings. Schools are about the students. Schools are about when you're in the band and you're marching down the street and you're holding your head up higher than anybody else. Schools are about learning as much as you can, and then once you graduate, you come back and give back to your community. Schools are what you make of it. You got to have good teachers. You have to have inspirational leaders. But it's all about y'all. And every day, you know, there's a school my kids go to in Maryland. By the way, I want to tell you a little bit about my family. My wife's a family doctor. And I have 3 children. Actually, I have probably more than that, but I'll tell you how I'll tell you how that works. I'll explain myself. I have one biological daughter. Her name is Brittany, and she's 17. I have 2 adopted children that my wife and I adopted out of foster care. And one is by the name of Joey, and one's Elena. Their original names were Jose and Ilana Marie, and we changed them when we got them. But their mom abandoned them, was a drug addict and abandoned them. And so we adopted them when they were 6 and 3. And why I say that I have other kids is over the years, we've brought other folks into our house, and they consider us like surrogate parents because we've tried to take care of folks as they've needed us. And so it wasn't anything weird. It's just we like taking care of kids. And we think it's important to do that. And they have some tough issues. Coming out of a background where their mama abandoned them and they don't know who their dad was and the rest, they have some tough issues, and we've had to fight back with that and help them along.
How old are the adopted kids?
17 and 14. So my daughter Elena is your age, and what I was getting ready to tell you about their school is they are in a country school. We live sort of in a rural area outside of Washington, D.C., about 30 minutes outside of Washington, D.C. And what their school decided to do was every teacher in the school committed themselves that they were going to make themselves a National Blue Ribbon School. And my daughter says, Dad, they drive us crazy at school. Every day they're working us harder and pushing us harder, and they've got this fixation on becoming a blue ribbon school. They want the president to recognize them as being the best school in the country. And guess what happened last year? They got Blue Ribbon School. They went from being a poor country school to being a national Blue Ribbon School. They're not spending any more money. Now, you need money to have basics. But it was just a drive and a commitment that each individual person at that school pledged that they were going to do it. Every day the principal got on the loudspeaker and said, okay, what are we going to do today to become a Blue Ribbon School? What are you going to do to become a Blue Ribbon School? And, you know, I can't tell you the magic sauce that made it happen, but something in their internal drive made it happen. Yes, sir.
But